Hey everyone, this is John Hallbeck at Queerty, and today I am joined by Orlando Soria, who is a designer, an author, my friend, and the host of Build Me Up on HGTV. Welcome, Orlando.
Hello.
You have so many qualifiers behind your name.
I know. I'm one of those people from LA who like where you ask them what their job is and it takes them like 35 minutes to answer and it makes you sound like a flake, but it really just means you have a lot of different interests. Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, it's kind of a lot to explain. What's going on?
I think it's like a stereotype about LA people that we like don't really have real jobs, but I think it's just that so many people are making their money off of their creativity, and sometimes that means being really scrappy and having a lot of different things on your plate at the same time.
Well, you definitely have a lot of things on your plate at all times, it seems. Congratulations on your new season.
Thank you. It's really fun. I'm like very happy that it's finally out there and people are watching it, and the response to it has been kind of awesome. It's just, I think people are like craving this kind of content right now because it's just like fun to watch people do nice stuff for each other, you know?
Well, wait, we're getting ahead of ourselves. For anyone who doesn't know, what is Build Me Up and how did you come up with the concept?
Yeah, so Build Me Up is a show about basically like using interior design to help people progress forward in life. That's like sounds very touchy-feely, but basically what we do is we find people who are going through different challenging life transitions and we help them move forward with the power of interior design. So that sounds like kind of abstract, but for example, like one of our clients was a woman who lost her husband a year ago to cancer. So she had all these projects around her house that she wanted to do with her husband for basically like 8 years, and they never got around to it because she was caretaking him for so long. So all of these unfinished projects became kind of a reminder of losing him and just, you know, all the years that they lost together to his illness. So finally getting all of those things done allowed her to process a lot of the pain, which was, you know, sort of palpable when I arrived, and to kind of create a space for the next chapter of her life for her and her girls. So it's situations like that. It's a mom whose son is going off to college. It's like a woman who's just like ready to date, who's like single and ready to mingle. So it really runs the gamut of like emotional realities, but what it is at the sort of base of everything is showing people how to take care of themselves through taking care of their space. So it involves a lot of renovation. It involves a lot of like, you know, redecorating spaces and making them more functional. And at the base of it, it's just really a show about human stories and watching people do nice things for each other. And, you know, my crew really like works their butts off to like really make these people happy, and these transformations are real and really fun and sort of gratifying to see, and you can really feel that when you watch it.
Watching the show, I was surprised by how hands-on you are with all these renovations. It seems like you're really in there with the crew making it all happen. It made me wonder, what is your background? How did you get into this? How do you know how to do all these things?
I basically like never really knew I wanted to be an interior designer. I just always kind of did it. So we were always doing projects around my house. I was always like helping my parents paint, or like doing some sort of, you know, rearranging the furniture or doing some sort of like refresh. So I've just always been very like hands-on with everything. And one of the things that I'm really proud about Build Me Up is there's a lot in it that is accessible for people at different ranges of the sort of socioeconomic spectrum, because we have these renovations that are really fun and aspirational, but we also have these things that people can do at home with just like a little bit of paint or, you know, supplies that they have around the house. So one of the things that I think made our show really fun is that a lot of the budgets we were working with were really tight, and we were trying to make huge transformations. So what that often meant for me and the crew is that we were doing a lot of the work ourselves, which basically like really extended the dollar and made the transformations a lot more dramatic. One of the side benefits to that is that there's a lot of things that you can see on the show that if you're willing to spend some time, you can do yourself without spending like $1 million. Because obviously it's easy to redesign your house if you have a lot of money, but a lot of these things that we're doing, you know, like things from like organization to like kind of, I like to call like stupid paint tricks, like doing really fun things with paint that transform a space. These are things that don't cost a lot that I think people will appreciate seeing, because it's, you know, it can be very alienating to watch design shows and be like, oh, that's cool, but that was a $300,000 renovation that I can't afford.
I love a certain expert that you brought on board to be a part of the show, your mom, AKA or Mom Doe. Can you talk about her role and why you wanted to make her part of the project?
Yeah, so my mom, I mean, and I think probably a lot of people feel like this about their moms, but my mom's like one of the most creative people that I know. She is where I got my love of art and of craft, of making things. Her enthusiasm for food and for design and just everything is where my interest in all that comes from. So I'm often reaching out to her to ask her like how to do something or how to make something. And in this one particular episode, we had a kid named Tanner who was going off to college, and his mom was kind of struggling with that a little bit. And like, I was probably one of the only kids, I don't know how you felt about going to college, but I was like terrified. I didn't want to leave my family. And so I like really empathized with her and wanted to talk to my mom about what it was like when I went off to school, and sort of get her advice about how to talk to this lady and like make her feel better. So yeah, my mom is just like a huge inspiration for me. So I try to involve her in anything that I can. But for that particular episode, it just felt really appropriate to ask her what to do, because we have such a strong like mother-son bond. And so does Eileen with her son Tanner, which is that episode that you're referencing.
Well, you inspired me. It's now on my gay boy bucket list to get my mom involved in a show with me. I think that would be awesome.
Oh my God. My mom would be such good. I want her like more on the show, because she has like so many funny quips, and she's like, she's a cool lady. Like, I think we're lucky to like be from a generation where our parents are like interesting and intelligent, and like, I don't see my parents as like old fuddy-duddies. I'm like, you're like cool and hip. I want to be like you.
Well, I'll start a write-in mailing campaign to get more of her back on the show if that's what it takes.
I know. I mean, I'll be the first one to be in that mail writing letter.
So I mentioned before, we're friends, and you helped design the room that I'm sitting in right now. But before I ever knew you, I was a fan of yours on Instagram, because I think your writing is so funny. You refer to yourself as the human person who lives in our phones. And I was just wondering if you have a particular philosophy or way that you think about social media or your online persona, or how did that all come about?
Yeah, I mean, so I basically got my start in the sort of like world of design content by being on an HGTV show 10 years ago. And I think with that, I realized that like a certain amount of privilege came with that. And so I wanted to, with whatever I do, try to be somebody who does something good with it, because I think that there's a lot of content online and in social media that really is just about proving you are what you are, like proving like I'm really good at this or I'm really good at that. And like, I think that what that can do is make other people feel lesser than, and that can be really damaging. So my philosophy with everything is that I've tried to present everything in a really humble, approachable way, especially interior design, because that can be, I think, really intimidating to people. They think interior design, they think fancy, they think I can't afford this, they think somebody's gonna judge me for doing the wrong thing. That is like something that I get quite often, is people thinking that I'm gonna go into their house and judge them, or that like there's like a right way and a wrong way to do things. So my whole thing has been about kind of like demystifying the process and making it feel like it's something that's welcoming. And if I can do that by being a little bit self-deprecating or being humorous, or kind of just like pulling the curtain back and letting people know that interior design is for everybody. I think everybody should just, you know, take care to make the most beautiful space they can within the limitations of their lives. I think if I can do that, you know, is a service, and better than me being like, I'm perfect, look at me, which is like so much of what like social media is, and just not what I'm interested in at all.
During quarantine, have you noticed sort of a renewed interest in people wanting to redo their spaces or make their spaces better? And do you think that's important or helpful?
Yes. Okay, so many things. First of all, everybody's turned into a plant daddy. Like, everybody's obsessed with plants, and I love that, because I basically learned to like do everything from home. And like you can order plants online, you can order pots online. It's literally something that like you can do in your kitchen. Another thing that people have been sort of asking me is like little things that you can do around the house that are simple updates, either for your work from home space or for your bedroom or for your living room. There's so many things you can do. Like, obviously, like my go-to for everybody is to tell them like start with paint, because paint is the most bang for your buck makeover you can do anywhere. And that can be either painting a room literally the same color so that it's like fresh and clean and all the scuffs are gone, or transforming it by painting it a completely different color. Something that I love about Build Me Up is that we've done a lot of, and I said this before, like crazy paint tricks, but if you watch, you'll see a lot of things you can do, from like wall graphics to like fun wall murals to like painting large scale stripes on your wall. There's a lot of really dramatic, high design things you can do with paint that'll make your space feel really elegant and elevated. And that is just basically like something that I've been recommending to everybody. But even small things like swapping out tea towels in your kitchen. I changed my bedding completely, and that made my bedroom feel totally different. Like there's a lot of things, or just even like taking everything off of your coffee table and completely like re-accessorizing it. Like just taking care to like think about what things look like and keeping them organized, I think makes you a lot happier that you are trapped in your house forever.
Do you hope everyone votes in the election this year?
I pray to God that everybody votes and they can vote, because there isn't anything nefarious going on with the US Postal Service.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we obviously all have to remain terrified until November and just try and push people to vote as much as possible, because it's a really important year and there is a lot at stake. But so yeah, I'm just gonna allow myself to stay petrified until November.
I'm on board. I want everyone to vote, and I want everyone to write in asking for more Ormondo on Build Me Up.
I know, vote for Armando. Gosh, if we could have her for president, we'd really be sad.
Well, congratulations again on everything. I'm so excited for you, and I hope everyone checks out everything you got going on. Where can people find you online?
Find me at orlandosoria.com. Follow me at Mr. Orlando Soria on most things, including Instagram. And watch Build Me Up. It's at 11 on Wednesdays, and it's 2 back-to-back episodes, so you get a full hour of goodness every week.
Perfect. Well, we will all see you there. Thanks, Orlando.
Thank you.